Hey there, my phenomenal 439 students. Here's Dr. A with your Week 7 rundown. Week 7, we have almost reached the halfway point of our semester. It is crazy how far we've come and how much we've accomplished, and I'm really excited that we get to continue to learn together. I'm not going to lie, I'm exhausted. This was a tough week. In my role as professor, I'm always creating content and grading and making sure things are aligned with state requirements and best practices and all of that. But in my role as coordinator, I've been doing a lot of work this week, talking to instructors from different departments and different colleges to make sure that our middle level program matches up with the expectations and what you're learning in your methods courses and how all these pieces fit together. It's exhausting, but it's also really fun. I think you're going to experience the same thing in your first year as a teacher, where you're going to be focused a lot on your students and your own classroom and your lesson plans and getting all of that going, but there's always these other expectations. You're going to have department meetings and faculty meetings and open houses with parents, and there's so many other things that go into being a teacher besides just lesson planning. So that's kind of where I am now in this current role. What I do mirrors a little bit of what you will be doing in the classroom. And it's exhausting, but we power through because we love our students and we care about their education and we want to make sure that they're getting really good experiences. So that's what I'm doing this week, posting this video and powering ahead. I have a whiteboard over here where I've got a giant to-do list of things I just have to get done today. So here's the deal. We are in week 7, we're going to be talking about technology integration. We're going to look at some really cool resources. There's a source that I want to share with you that if you haven't already seen, you're going to dive around and pick some things that are meaningful for you out of this site. And then I'm going to ask you to explore 2 specific pieces of technology with purpose. So one thing I like to do is to blend content and pedagogy all at the same time. To me, you can't actually bring them apart. I could never actually teach science without using pedagogy. And pedagogy I think of as the art and science of teaching. And I can never explain pedagogy if I don't have some content to go along with it. So these are married in my mind. So that's what we're going to do this week. We're going to explore some content and we're going to use some different technology tools to assess and to communicate and collaborate. So here's the rundown. I've put a link below to a website called Cult of Pedagogy. This is a really good resource. They have a big social media presence. You've read stuff from them before, I think, that I've assigned. So it's this great website, and what I want you to do is explore the video tab. At this website, she and her team have a blog, they have resources, they have podcasts, really good podcasts, and then they have this whole collection of videos. So when you go to the video tab, there's going to be 4 categories of different types of information. Some are really short, they're a couple of minutes, and then there's one category where most of the videos are around 20-25 minutes. So what I want you to do is to watch 4 videos, one from each one of those categories. Which one is totally up to you. Pick something that you think is going to be meaningful, something that's going to teach you something. So you're going to watch those videos, jot down some notes, reflect on it, and then I'm going to ask you to report back out on what you learned. But I don't want this just to be a summary of what you learned. I want you to be saying, I saw this and I can use it this way in my classroom. She talked about this and I think that would really apply to this content. Or I could take this and integrate it into this type of thing that I want to teach. So I want you to use all of that and process it. So gather it, process it, and then you're going to share out in a Flipgrid video. Flipgrid is one of my favorite tech tools. There's an app for it, or you can just do the computer-based. It works a little bit better on Chrome than it does on Safari. And then the other browsers as well. I think it works on whatever Microsoft's using today. So what it does is it allows you to post a question, and I've posted the question that I just posed to you, and students can respond. And the cool thing is it limits the amount of time in the video. So I've set it to a 5-minute maximum recording. So if you go to 5 minutes, it will cut you off. So you need to practice, you need to think about, you need to rehearse maybe what you're going to say in those 5 minutes. This is a great way to make sure that your students don't go into the 10-minute range when you ask them to record for 5 minutes. Being concise is really important. Like I said, especially when you have 80 middle school students or 100 middle school students, every minute that the average goes up is more hours in your day that you're spending on grading. So you're going to do a Flipgrid, and it actually hosts all the videos together. So once you post yours, I want you to go check out a couple of your classmates. If you're the first one to post, come back the next day or the day later and check out what other people have posted. But I want you to see what other people have found interesting. And rather than watching 8 videos, you can get that synopsis in just 5 and maybe learn from one of your classmates and say, oh, that's a really cool idea I could use too. So that's the first part of what we're going to do is the Cult of Pedagogy website exploration. Totally bookmark that one. And then the Flipgrid response. Links are on Blackboard. The next thing I want you to do is we're going to practice a instructional strategy called concept mapping. It goes by a couple of different names, but essentially what you're going to do is you're going to create a concept map, a web of information related to a specific content, and you're going to break it down. So you start with your big idea, and then you draw like bubbles off of it. And then you break those into bubbles, and you break those into bubbles. And if you want, you can add images to it. So I'm going to ask you to create a concept map using a specific website, web-based tool that is pretty cool, very easy. Concept maps are really good for students to organize their thoughts, for teachers to organize their thoughts too. You can use it as an assessment for your students. So you have them, you give them a bunch of words, or you give them a topic, and you ask them to create this concept map of how different things are related, and then you can quickly assess like what's missing, what misconceptions do they have, what connections are they not making, or what are they making, what are the ideas that they understand, how deep does their knowledge go. So it's a visual way to do that. I like doing this on paper. I've enjoyed the technology side a little bit more. I've used MindMeister and a couple other programs, but the one I'm going to share with you today is Bubbleless. The link is below. You're going to check out that page. You're going to create an account with your Missouri State.edu email, and sorry, that's for the Flipgrid. Missouri State.edu email for the Flipgrid. Create your account for your Bubble US, or Bubbleless, however you say it. And you're going to create a concept map, and the topic is going to be the subject matter from last week's unit plan design that you're working on. So if you pick the rock cycle, or the Revolutionary War, or poetry, I want you to take that big idea coming from your standard, and I want you to break it down. And I want this to be a full, complete understanding of this topic that you're going to cover in this unit. So imagine this big unit, whatever you're expecting your students to come up with by the end of it, or to know, I want that in your concept map. So whatever key ideas are important. The standard is like a sentence or two, and there's so much unpacking that we have to do with it. So concept mapping is a good way to do this. Plus, this is going to help us advance our thinking and to get us more ready for the next steps of our lesson plan design, when we start picking assessments and designing assessments and things like that. So those are the two big activities I have for you this week. I have specifically done no major readings and no major writing for you this week, so you're welcome. There's no big articles. It's content you're absorbing through video, and then no weekly reflection or anything like that this week. Your concept map can be words and phrases and ideas and pictures. You do have to get a free trial for the upgraded version if you want to add pictures, but I think it can be really helpful. So that's your assignment this week. Next week, I'm taking it easy on you. I'll tell you more about that a week from now. If you have any questions, let me know. I am excited to hear from all of you. I hope you have a fantastic week. Remember to take care of yourselves, take care of those around you, and enjoy life. I will talk to you soon.